I've actually seen videos of this individual before. I say individual because, you know, it was kind of a meme back in the 90s, I suppose. It was like, yo, I'm an individual. You know, I do things my own way. I'm an individual, yeah. I'm an individual. Apart from the fact that this individual is someone who believes in collective groupthink. But you know, individuality and all that. I'm an individual that believes in large groups. I'm an individual that likes everyone to think the same. I'm that kind of individual. Basically, I've seen her. I can't remember what video it was on. People, you know, crazy leftist professors or something like that. One of them videos, you know. And she sort of, I hate to say it. I hate to like talk about people as they, you know, based on appearances and all, you know. But you're entitled to talk about me based on my appearance. That's fine. I describe her as looking a bit like a slop pig, to be honest. That's the kind of way I describe her. And it's not unfair for me to say so, because I see this woman talking, and she was, you know, talking about, you know, just, you know, swear. You know, people who swear because they think it makes them hard. Like, they think it validates their point more if they swear more. Whereas, like, creative people and intelligent people like myself just can't stop swearing. It's kind of a disease. And I have jobs where, you know, I can't swear at all. You know, and it's very difficult for me. I feel exhausted when I don't swear for a while. It's just part of me. But someone like this is just swearing as if it makes what they're saying more valid and, you know, more poignant. Yeah. Okay. And she was going, yeah, I think if you don't wake up, I want to throw a fucking grenade at the White House. Something wrong with you. I want to fucking blow up the White House, talking like this. And this is like a professor. And the way I heard her talk was like, she doesn't talk like someone who should be looked up to in that sort of setting. Do you know, as in, if I had paid a load of money, I know, like, you get student loans and shit, but you are paying for this, right? If I paid a load of money to do a course, you know, at university, and I'm presented with this woman, going, you know, sort of slobbed out like this. She slobbed out in this chair like this, like, you know, fuck the government, fuck all this. I'd be like, hang on, why are you up there and I'm down here? I don't quite understand it. That's, you know, that's how I'd feel. So this is a little BBC article about some of her antics, I suppose. And there's a whole free speech thing going on. Whole free speech angle to this whole thing. And she's, you know, she sent out some tweets. She done some tweets. As does everyone these days, isn't it? You know. Why, what did you do today? I sent some tweets. People got upset. Now I'm a social pariah. So, it says a professor spoke ill of the dead. What happened next? Now, she tweeted out when, I think when Barbara Bush passed away. When Barbara Bush died. And, you know, wrote some not very nice things about, you know, a dead person. Basically, is what she did. And then she goes on in the article to complain about the fact, the reaction to the fact of what she said. So just go through a little bit before I give you my take on it. So a California professor posted offensive messages about a former First Lady. The resulting furore became one of the long list of flashpoints in a war over free speech on America's university campuses. But what happened next? We don't really hear about don't often hear about the free speech angle for, say, left-leaning side. I think, you know, I haven't really seen much about that. Because obviously it's got to happen. It has to happen, surely. It can't just all be one way, innit? So it has to happen. So it makes it interesting. So for a treat, I'd taken myself to a small sea village about 40 minutes away from Tunis, recalls Randa Jarrah. It was 2 in the morning or something my time. I had no idea how long it had been since she passed. So Miss Gerard, an accomplished writer and professor at Fresno State University, was in Tunisia for a book festival. As for who had passed on the day in April 2018, she was Barbara Bush. Blah, 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 blah. So it goes on. You know, when prominent people die, there's a standard response social media users usually offer prayers and rest in peace messages, but Miss Jara did not follow that script. She recalled controversial comments that the First Lady had made in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina in 2005. Thousands of New Orleans residents were displaced to other states, and Barbara Bush met some who were being sheltered in the Houston Astrodome. What I'm hearing, which is sort of scary, is that they all want to stay in Texas, she told a radio station. So many of the people here were underprivileged anyway, so this is working very well for them. Jesus, what a thing to say. But you know, I go just to add context to that from my perspective. I truly believe that just because someone has been a victim of something or been through some harsh times doesn't mean they are bulletproof to criticism or to be commented on. You know, I truly believe that. I think people get too uptight and go, "Oh, you can't say that about them. They're victims of something." It's like, yeah, everyone could be a victim of something at some point. There's just different levels of victimhood, isn't it? But like, it doesn't mean you're not open to criticism or open to comment. Say, well, you know, that's it. That's my opinion on it, and I stand by that. And that's it. Just so you know. Those displaced people were poor African American. Years later, as Miss Jara scrolled through endless tributes, those comments by Mrs. Bush, which were widely criticised at the time, loomed large in her mind, and she started tweeting. Barbara Bush was a generous and smart and amazing racist who, along with her husband, raised a war criminal. Fuck out of here. I'm assuming it's fuck out of here with your nice words. Okay. Now, like I said, this woman likes to put herself... This is the way I see it. This woman likes to put herself across as a bit of an edgelord. You know, she thinks she's a bit fucking edgy. She thinks she's like, ooh, you can't box me in, you know. Oh, fuck your boxes, man. You can't box me in, you know. Whereas, I think it's cheap when someone dies to go out and start cussing someone on the day they die because you're seeing all these overtures for them and how great they were and blah, 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 blah. It's cheap to just come out and say it on the day they die, because you know you're going to get traction. You know it's going to cause a fuss. You know what's going to happen. Like, you just know how it's going to go. You know how it's going to play out. You know, especially if you've got. I mean, goes on to say she's got like 5,000 followers. That's enough for people. That's enough retweets to gain traction. You know what I'm saying? That's enough attention. So you know what you're doing. You know why you did it, and you know what you know. It's just for it's more for effect and about you than it is about all the poor, you know, the poor displaced people in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina and then the big, you know, from what I know, it was a bit of a fuck up, the whole thing, wasn't it? It was a bit of a fuck up. But the point is, you know what you're doing. You're doing it for you. That's the way I see it. You're doing it for you. You know what's going to happen, okay? You're playing a game, all right? Well, the thing is, there's rules to games. You know, it's let's just use football as an analogy, so all the geezers understand what I'm saying. It's for the geezers. 11 men against 11 men. All right, you get on the ball and you start running towards the goal. Well, someone's going to tackle you. You know, there's no free goals. You know, you even the mightiest team against the minnows. There's still some push and pull going on. It's a game, man. You're gonna get tackled. Shit's gonna happen to you. This is how it plays out. You know, I mean, with the low amount of views I get and shit. I mean, if I put this on YouTube or put this on BitChute, you know, every now and again I get some absolute lunatics commenting on it. You know, talking about Israel this and God knows what, and I'm like, what the hell are you going on about? But that's just where it is. You know, because I don't get that many comments, I like to engage with them. But once I start getting loads of comments, I won't bother with you anymore. You know, just do it for engagement, just so you know. If you make it this far into the video before you post your weird anti-Semitism, just so you know. It's all part of it. I'm on here daily talking crazy. You know, I like doing it. I like talking crazy. I'm good at it. You know, and I get it. So she also wrote in reference to the Iraq War, "I'm happy the witch is dead. Can't wait for the rest of her family to fall to their demise the way 1.5 million Iraqis have. Bye." Yeah, bye. See, just the way she puts it as well. You know, this is about you, man. You're a virtue signaler. You're the worst of the worst. Okay, and what's it got to do with Barbara Bush anyway? She's just the wife. She's the wife. Do you know? She's not like Rose West, who was definitely involved with all the murders of the kids and whatnot. She's not like that. So at that point, she had fewer than 5,000 followers, and she says she thought she was essentially talking to a handful of feminist accounts. It quickly became clear she was not. So that's the reason. That's what she puts across. At that point, she had fewer than 5,000 followers. That's enough. That is enough to get traction. And she says she thought she was essentially talking to a handful of... Oh, I didn't know my tweets were available to everyone. I didn't know people could retweet my tweets and they'd have different followers. I thought it only reached feminists who all thought like me. I thought I was just in a little echo chamber here. I didn't know what was going to happen, did I? You can't blame me for the way people reacted to it. You can... Like, are you... Like, really? Are you entertaining this? Cool. I can feel my, like... Ooh, feel the rage burning inside of me, you know. Conservatives on Twitter demanded she be fired. A petition calling for her immediate termination accumulated more than 90,000 signatures. Fox News ran a piece calling for her dismissal. You know, the whole deplatforming thing, the whole thing with deplatforming is it depends on what you do, doesn't it? It depends on what you do. Like with the Danny Baker situation, if you don't know, Danny Baker, UK radio personality, did a tweet, sort of ill-informed tweet, basically because, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry having a baby, and he put out the picture, and it was a couple with a little monkey in a suit, but in his mind, he was mocking, mocking elitism or whatever the fuck he thought he was. And obviously everyone sees a monkey and a mixed race woman, racism, whatever. It doesn't matter. Point is him getting sacked because he works for the BBC. Is a different... I mean, a few years ago he wouldn't have got sacked. He probably shouldn't have got sacked for that. But it depends on what position you're in. And it depends on what you said. Now, I think, right, there's a big difference. Me, whatever, I talk crazy, whatever, that's fine. Because that's what I do. Let's say if you're a children's entertainer and you start talking crazy online, and the little children are reading what you're saying and repeating it, and you probably, there's more call for you to be deplatformed because it depends on whose minds you're fucking with, doesn't it? That's the difference. So you are a lecturer. It's not like you're trying to make people think for themselves. You could. It's the way you say it as well. It is the message sometimes. It's how the messenger. They say don't shoot the messenger. Well, no bullshit. Don't shoot the messenger, because the message is how the messenger brings the fucking message, isn't it? The messenger brings the message in a real crazy way. And you're like, what the fuck are you going on about? I say, oh no, what I meant to say was it's saying, we should remember what Barbara Bush did, and how she was complicit in all these deaths, or something like that. Instead of talking like a gobby little brat, to be honest, because that's how you come across is bad. Because you're a lecturer, you see. That's the difference. You are in a certain position where you have to maintain a certain, I don't know, some sort of dignity or something like that. I don't know. Like it's different. School teachers, the professors, policemen. I don't know. There's certain people who need to be more careful how they talk, because that's part of their job. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like that is the position you're in. If you don't want to have that kind of responsibility in your position, then you shouldn't be talking on Twitter crazy. Do you know what I mean? You don't have that privilege. Other people do have that privilege. Why? Because they chose to. You could choose to do something else. Apparently you're an accomplished writer. We'll just stick to writing and stop, dribbling into people's ears. It's like, freedom of speech. But obviously she's allowed to say what she wants. You can say what you want, but other people can say what they want back. This is the point. So, they can say, they can shout about getting a deplatform, whatever. I work as a tenured professor. I make $100K a year doing that. I will never be fired. I will always have people wanting to hear what I say, Miss Jara told her online detractors. And look how defensive she comes out against it again. I make $100K a year. Like, I'll never be fired because I'm tenured, so I can say what I want. I can do what I want. Like how privileged do you sound? Well, how much of an asshole do you? You're not. She doesn't come across as the sort of person you want to back up. Do you know what I mean? This is kind of the case you get with with you Tommy Robinson. Because he says some crazy shit sometimes. You're like saying, I don't know if I want to back you all the way. I mean, I like some I think some people are iffy about him because of like some crazy shit he says. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just like, yeah, I just don't know about how you. Yeah, actually, he's a bad example. Here's a better example. I can't think of another example right now. He's like the high-profile deplatform person right now, innit? I can't think of anyone else. Alex Jones. Alex Jones is entertaining and great. It's like one of the greatest entertainers of our time. I don't know. But she's just not coming across as likable. And you got to wonder about people who like people like this. I mean, I don't understand why people are like me, but I'm not a fucking, I'm doing my thing, but I'm not. I don't know. It's not like I think I'm the, but I don't. Well, I hope I don't come across and think I'm the fucking shit, because I really don't think I'm the shit at all. I really don't. I have deep insecurities. I have anxiety. I cry. I fucking cry. But this is. So conservatives on Twitter demanded she be fired. Blah 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 blah. Unsurprisingly, tweets like those did not quell the outrage. Remarks which were offensive to many. The investigation. So they open an investigation. Here she is. I mean, do you know what I'm saying? I'd hate to judge a book by its cover, but if the cover looks like it's just been puked on, it's just like, I know I'm not being too objective right now. I'll leave it, Anyway, so this is what she goes on to say. At the same time, Randa Jara found herself dealing with wholesale abuse, hate speech, and threats. Her family's contact details were made public. Now that's not cool. We know that's not cool. Never. It's never cool. If you got the balls to do it, right? You don't make people's. Now I ain't even gonna go there. And I know I'm citing something, but if you think you're a real fucking gangster, don't make their shit public. You go around there. If you think you're that fucking gangster, to make people's details public. If you think you're that hard, yeah, go see them yourself. Just you go. Don't leave it up to some other numbnuts to do. Some crazy. If you think you're so hard to put someone's details out there, you go around their house and have it out. If you think you're that bad, that's what I'll say to you. You think you're that heavy, go do it. So she said, I started receiving tweets from people who are followers of the right wing, activists and alt-right Nazi white supremacist sympathizers. Ooh. And these people were very angry, she says. People were texting my son and calling him all sorts of awful words. Terrible slang for homosexuals. Now, we all know what word that is. It's a good word. Not a slang. Yeah. She says they were calling my sister at work. They even text my brother. Or the hate mail I got had some sort of racial epithet attached to it. I bet it didn't. Recalls Ms. Jarrett. Oh, she's a Ms. You had a Ms at school. You had like a Miss and a Mrs. And then there was a Ms. And they were always the ones who are a bit... Do you know what I'm saying? The ones who are called a Ms. Ms. Green or something. Like Ms. Green. And you're like, she's a fucking weirdo. She's got bad dandruff. She stinks and she hits kids. Do you know, that's a Ms. Innit? Am I wrong? Sorry, I can't break character. Anyway, Miss Jarrah, who is Muslim and Arab American, because that's what's important, isn't it? It was misogyny. It was fat phobia. It was homophobia. It was xenophobia. Now, listen up, bitch. Look at this fucking rock pig. a joke. I'm just making jokes. She can say what she likes about me. This is what I say when I did a video last week. I talked about the whole XXX Tentacion and Dina Havesh, whatever that comedian was that everyone's angry with. He started, whinging about, everyone's going, oh, it's just a joke, blah, blah, blah. But the point is, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're entitled to say what you want, and people are entitled to say what they fucking want, okay? It's when it starts getting to weird shit like threats and, threatening behavior and doxing people is not cool. And I think that's universally understood by non-assholes. I know there's a hell of a lot of assholes out there, unfortunately, so it's kind of hard to get these rules in place. Maybe we do need a totalitarian state to put all these twats in line. I don't know. What I do know is this: if you're gonna try and be edgy, send tweets out on the death of someone and not expect it to get some sort of traction. We're gonna have 5,000 feminists following you, and they don't share my tweets with anybody. No one's allowed to see the feminist tweets unless you're in the feminist bubble. That's all I can say to them. It's fuck off. Someone said that to me. I was like, just fuck off, would you? I've had enough of your shit already. I don't want to hear any more from you right now until you start talking correctly. Just off you fuck, right? Fuck all that bullshit. It's a nonsense. Okay? It's a nonsense. If you don't expect something that gains traction to have for people to come at you, send you messages when you've gone out of your way to be controversial, to push buttons, because that's the only reason you do it. Otherwise you keep on a public platform. Otherwise you keep your mouth shut. You did it because you in your little retreat and everyone's loving Barbara Bush. Well, I'm going to make them think about how angry I am today. You know what you're doing, and for you to be there was fat phobia. There was shut up. Just shut up. You know what you did. A reaction happened. Just take it on the fucking chin. Are you not a strong, independent woman? My goodness. I was raised by a strong woman. I have strong women in my life. It's like I'm whining to me about going, oh, they said this. Who are you? Get out of my house. Get out of your house. Do you know what I'm saying? Where's the strong? What happened? What is it? It's like, what are you, strong? Are you strong or are you weak? Because apparently you're both. It's like, what? Which one is it? What is it? What is it? You're talking all crazy going, I can say what I like. People want to hear I get paid $100K. I've heard you talking about throwing grenades at the White House. You're talking crazy to push a reaction. And then when people go back against you, you're like, they said mean things to me. It's like, shut up. You cuss someone out when they're dead. That's the lowest thing you could do is cuss someone out when they're dead. You want to cuss them out when they're alive. I do get the whole thing of people praising people when they die and going, oh, they're wonderful. Well, but actually, it's like, nah, just leave. You don't have to say it on that day. You don't have to. You could do it on the anniversary. I don't know. There's no rules to it, I guess. But don't come playing this victim nonsense because it's so see-through. It's so transparent. It's so see-through and transparent. It makes me angry. That's the kind of thing that makes me angry. Not a lot makes me angry anymore, but this makes me angry. Actually angry. I can feel it. I can feel it. The anger. I'm just like, I'm a placid, placid warm guy. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to be angry and shit. Anyway, free speech is, of course, a cherished American right, enshrined in the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or of the press. Many say it's under threat. In March, President Trump signed an executive order linking funding of colleges to their promotion of freedom of speech. Yes, blah, 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 blah. Everybody believes in free speech, said some guy, until you get a topic on which they don't. It's so true. It's just the best statement I've ever heard. Who's this? Stanford J. Unger, the director of Georgetown University. It's so true. Everyone believes in it until it's something they don't like, innit? That's pretty much it, isn't it? That's it, isn't it? Because there's so many dickheads around. It's just untrue. The idea has been reinforced since Trump took office by high-profile confrontations at the Berkeley campus of the University of California and elsewhere. By one key measure, the picture is decidedly mixed. Foundation for Individual Rights in Education maintains a database of disinvitation efforts on US campuses. They've identified only a few dozen per year over the last 2 decades. In 2018, there were just 17 in the country with more than 5,000 colleges. Blah, 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 blah. And we know about campus confrontations. So was it in September 2018, classes at Fresno State started up again. It was the first time Miss Jarrett had taught on campus since her tweets went viral. With her outside of the classroom was Ben Burquam, a local talk radio host, wearing a red Make America Great Again hat. He clutched a phone, live streaming to his followers on Facebook. Mr. Burquam had been at the protest in Berkeley the previous year. He had come to the Fresno State campus not to defend free speech, but to try to take down Ms. Jarrett. Do you want to make any comments about the first day of class with hateful Professor Randa Jarrah? He asked students as they streamed out of the classroom, then went to the professor. Do you stand by comments? Shame on you, Randa. Protect free speech. Now, this is the thing. You know, just from her rhetoric about it was misogyny, it was fatphobia, it was xenophobia. This woman doesn't believe in free speech either, as much as that guy standing there streaming as they're trying to suggest. What, you know, that bloke from Georgetown University said, everyone supports free speech until it's something they don't like. I guarantee this, just from her rhetoric, and that you know, you already, I've seen videos of this woman, you know what she thinks, and you know there's certain stuff she will not like, and she would call for deplatforming herself. You just know it. You know it. You know, she's a nonsense peddler. You just know it. Like, support free speech. Okay. Yeah, I've already called you a fat slobbing fat rot pig. That's why I said it in the first place. That was my point. I'm going to call you a fat, rotten slop pig. That's my free speech. I could go real cheap and start commenting on, you being Arabic and you being a feminist. I could go, we could all play, we could do cheap stuff. I made a cheap joke. You made a cheap comment to get attention. It's all cheap. What do you think about my freedom of speech? Really? I've talked about this far too long. But that's it. What do you think? Or are you just another dickhead?